Hey, it's Wednesday morning. We're here in a fresh, beautiful backyard. We're gonna be building a ramp today. Let's go.
Bossy ramp!
A common question that we get at OC Ramps is how to level your ramp when assembling a backyard mini ramp. Today we're gonna show you those steps. Let's get straight into it. Right now, we just showed up on scene to this beautiful backyard. We did look out, it's relatively level. Regardless whether this area is level or not, we still are gonna use pavers to elevate the ramp. A huge reason why we want to elevate the ramp with the pavers is because in the rare cases that it rains here in Southern California, we don't want the wood of the ramp to be laying in mud or wet grass. So by doing at least one layer of pavers, we're gonna elevate the ramp by about an inch. Obviously, if this were sloped at all, in certain areas, we're gonna have to stack on 2 or 3 pavers to level it out. These are relatively inexpensive. They're generally about $1 a piece at a hardware store. Step 1, we're gonna build the ramp and at least assemble the frame first. We're not gonna sheet it with plywood, but we're gonna do the frame. Then we'll go in right after and start installing the pavers. Honestly, it is perfect.
That's the perfect size ramp.
How did you hear about OC Ramps?
Everybody knows OC Ramps. Probably Instagram, but I mean, I'm sure it also came up on Facebook, but now I see it, other places on the side. So yeah,
Awesome.
whoever's doing their social media is doing a really good job. Because it was in the back of my head and then it forever popped in. I thought, yeah, I should really do this.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to justify, But it was this or like a 1955 Ford truck that's my other dream.
A 55 Ford truck.
Glad you went with the ramp.
Right?
Glad you went
Well,
with the
it's
ramp.
just, let's face it, it's gonna break down.
All right, guys, we just finished framing out the ramp. As you can see, we have the skeleton here. All the quarter pipes are assembled, the flat section's all dialed. So this is the time that we actually start leveling. So remember, step 1 was to frame it out. Now we're on step 2 where we're actually gonna start lifting up sections piece by piece, and then we're gonna elevate or lift up the ramp with 1 layer thick of these pavers. Now again, if this ramp were sloping, if it had a big dip, we would probably, kind of like in this corner, we would use 2 pavers. So you could go 2 pavers tall or 3. You don't want to do too many stacked up too high, just because obviously that could create a little bit unstable of a setting. But if you had to stack 2 or 3, that's not the end of the world. So right now, what we're gonna do is go through section 1 by 1. We're lifting up the pieces, and then we're gonna put a paver underneath. 100%, you want your ramp level. It's important to have the ramp level because you don't want it to be where you skate and you're going faster down one side versus the other. Or if it's twisted from left to right where you grind the coping and again, you're going too fast down one side and slow down the other. So it is vital to have your ramp level. Now, do you need to go buy a 10-foot level or have a laser level and make sure that this is perfect according to an engineer? No. But we want to get it as close as possible. So right now, these sections have not been screwed in yet. Our quarter pipes, the flat sections, they're still loose. We pushed everything together, but we haven't screwed it in yet. That'll be the next step, step 3. So right now, we're still working on step 2 of leveling the ramp. We're gonna lift this quarter pipe section and wedge in a paver. Notice how we're putting the paver on the important seams, on the joints. Right here is where the 2 quarter pipes meet and the flat section meet, so that's a very vital point. On our website, we do have a diagram that shows the minimum placement of these pavers. So we're starting off with a minimum placement of the pavers, then we'll go back through and add more as we see fit. So right now we're kind of doing the main spots, the corners, where the seams of the quarter pipes meet and the flat section. And 2 in this corner because we could see that this part dips in the backyard. Everywhere else we only have 1. So again, you kind of go as needed. We don't want to stack too high, but 2 is perfect. It is important to know that every ramp is different because every foundation is different. We are using a 4-foot level Again, we want to try and get it as close as possible. So we just leveled one corner of the ramp and it was a little bit low, so we do want to elevate it. However, elevating it with another paver is too thick. This is 1 inch thick. So we do use little shims like this. They could range from anywhere from 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch, anything in between. And we'll use that to elevate, lift up the ramp and make it level as well. I'm standing in the middle of the ramp where the 2 flat sections are put together. Notice we have our seam right here. Now if I stand on this, you could see that it's giving a little bit of flexibility and movement. Clearly we want to put a paver there. And so our next step is we're going to be walking through and seeing where it gives us motion. Where it gives us motion or bounce, we're going to put a support underneath that. Now we're gonna actually screw this quarter pipe sections together and the flat sections. Typically we'll start up by the coping on 1 quarter pipe, work our way down, then we'll do the flat section on the quarter pipe side and do the same thing on the opposite. This will be in your instruction manual, but generally we do this after we put in all the pavers. Sometimes you don't need the full surface area of an entire paver, so we'll use a hammer and crack them and split them, as you can see right here. I cannot stress the importance of pavers enough. It serves multiple purposes. 1, it levels the ramp. 2, it'll elevate or lift your ramp off of the ground, preventing the wood from rotting out. I can't tell you how many customers have put their ramps on just straight dirt or grass. The ramp is not level and it rots out because anytime it rains or the moisture in that soil or grass is touching the wood material. We want to prevent that. So stick with the paver plan, elevate your ramp, level it, and you'll be in good shape. It's pretty solid right now. We did walk through and make sure that I didn't feel too much bowing. Again, is it gonna be bulletproof? No. The plywood layers on top will help with that. However, we want to do our best to make sure that it is supported and elevated and level with the pavers. I feel we accomplished that. We're stoked on what's done so far. Let's keep going. The last step is we're gonna sheet it with plywood and be done.